Welcome to Aberystwyth's Over the Falls podcast. Local people, local stories. If you enjoy the show, please follow us, leave a review on your podcast platform, subscribe on YouTube, or keep up to date with us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Thanks for listening. This week's episode is sponsored by Aber Tree Specialists. Aber Tree Specialists is a family-run business that prides in servicing Aberystwyth, surrounding areas, and across Wales. With a breadth of experience and expertise, they provide all tree, landscaping, fencing, groundworks, and maintenance works. A local business, trusted and reliable. Find them on Instagram and Facebook. Just search for Aber Tree Specialists or visit their website www.abbbatreespecialist.com.
Yeah.
Are you from Aberystwyth then?
No. Can you not tell?
No, this is what I was going to say. So where are you from originally?
I'm from Bristol.
Bristol.
So I'm born and bred in Bristol. And then my now wife, she's from Aber, but I met her in Cardiff.
Okay, so she was like in uni down there or something,
Yeah.
was she? Okay, so when did you move to Aberystwyth then?
2017. So I transferred, so 11 years in Bristol and transferred.
So you're a police down in Bristol?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Nice.
what was that like?
Well, I joined at 19 straight after school.
Did you?
So I grew up in Bristol as a police officer. So yeah, it's a great place to live and it's really good fun to be a police officer in Bristol. But yeah, you have kids then, and then like your eyes change. You have sort of everything changes, doesn't it? Your mindset changes
Like
to what's
perception,
important, and like it's I miss it, but it's great. I love living here for the kids and like for your lifestyle.
Yeah.
But Bristol's a different kettle of fish.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, a lot more going on in Bristol, isn't there?
Yeah. Have you, go straight into this one. Have you ever had it where sort of like you're young in your career in Bristol as a police officer and you've had to either maybe arrest someone you sort of know? Because obviously it's certainly not Aberystwyth. Bristol's quite a big place,
Yeah.
but you still must know quite a few people there.
Yeah, no, I think it's more just being really young, looking really young.
Yeah.
I was like, I turned up in my nick in Bristol and they called me schoolboy on day one. And that sort of stuck until I moved. And I'd be going to domestics with couples in their 30s.
Yeah.
Trying to tell them how to be. And I'm like, they're looking at me going, you don't even look old enough to be a pal. But in regards to like people I know, no, I've had situations where people, it's been more like here really, because everyone is somehow connected or related to everyone.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
So
true.
I did go for a point of like going, do I know, are we related? Or just of anyone on the street. But no, I've not had like an actual family member or anything, but there's plenty of people I know like from football in Bristol where you don't realise until your blinkers come off that,
Yeah.
Fair enough. What made you want to join the police then?
I get asked this like quite a lot by people, but it's basically, I had no idea at school. I wasn't really into school. So at 16, I found out that you could join the police or the army with just maths and English. So I just was like, right. So I turned 18, I thought I'd go for the police first. Some of my sort of extended family were in the police, or had been in the police. And then I was like, if I don't get this, I'll join the army. And the irony is I didn't actually get in the police to begin with. Because they were like, you haven't got any life experience, you're 18. And then a couple of months later, there was a local newspaper did an article about the force at the time, about something to do with how they were vetting and getting rid of people. And I just got a letter to them to say, you've got through. So
Okay.
it was pretty much, I like the idea of policing, but it wasn't like when I was a kid, I used to dress up as a police officer and stuff. It was just more...
All right. It wasn't necessarily like a dream to do it. You just fell into it. How did you find the training? So when you first initially started?
Oh, it's crazy. Like I said, I literally turned up to so when we got through everything, you turned up to I joined in the September, but in the August, we went for like an open evening sort of thing.
Yeah.
When I looked around the room, everyone was in their late 20s or 30s. And I'd done the classic, I'd been to Greece in the summer, and my head was shaved, and I was like, I literally looked about 8. So they were looking at me, and I was like, oh my God. So the 6 months of training was a big eye-opener. But at the time, maybe the Somerset Heads, we were the first sort of intake back at their headquarters. They'd done a big new training facility. So it was like residential, and it was,
Okay.
it was good at the same time. It was just,
Training hard? Is it like a
Yeah,
physical?
it was like the physicals changed. Like, so when I was there, it was hard, and like the bleep test was like 8 point something.
can't remember what. Okay, all
Oh,
right.
that sounds quite good. I
And it's
think, isn't
drops
it?
every year.
Has it really?
Yeah.
But for me, it was just a case of having to try and grow up, mature, and like, but still like feeling like I was still like a kid. It's like because a lot of my mates were going to uni and going out on the weekends, and I was like, I'm in 6 months training here.
Yeah.
Going out into inner city Bristol to be a police officer.
Do you feel like you've missed out a little bit then?
I've had moments where recently, and then I've had moments of like regret, as in I wish I'd waited a bit, but then at the same time things happen for reasons, don't they? So like
Exactly.
at the same time, I loved my early life, like in Bristol in the police, where didn't have kids, was just working all the hours under the sun, didn't really see the repercussions. It was just work, and loved it. So I think maybe joining young was good in that way.
Yeah.
Sounds like you went in the deep end, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Did you feel ready when you completed your training and you went out on the streets of Bristol? No. It's quite hard to be prepared, though, isn't it?
But
It's
like you go into your tutorship with someone, and I clicked
Yeah.
straight away on my tutor. It was a different time. The policing's changed, and I had a very good, lots of mates in football, and like they were a really good team, really receptive, and helped me out. And you had the banter, and like you had to earn your way, but they still looked after you. So yeah, I felt at my depth. Like I said, if I go to a job and there was like, I don't even know what you want. Like I never experienced a domestic.
Yeah.
Now I'm arresting you and taking you away from your missus and kids, or
Yeah.
the severe jobs and the severity of jobs in Bristol, and like car accidents and stuff, and seeing things. But at the time I was like, yeah, this is great, let's keep going and come back to work tomorrow.
Do you remember your first arrest?
I do. It's really random because it's really weird, but you're desperate just to get your first arrest out of the way,
Just get out.
and I just didn't have one for ages, and it ended up being just someone who handed himself in at the front, so it wasn't anything exciting.
Fair
But
enough.
it went on for quite probably less than a week. But when you're like on your all your fellow, like the guys who joined you were getting their arrests and stuff, you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was really nerve-wracking because I forgot what to say and all that.
Did you remember your lines? That was the next
Yeah, the
question. Do you
caution,
remember?
Yeah.
no. Like
You
now,
don't
it's
remember it
mad.
now?
Like I don't even think about it now.
Yeah.
But like
What
when
is
you're
it?
first out, it's like the caution. Oh, don't ask me to
Come
say
on,
it.
come on, hit us with it.
I'm not going to say it.
All right, fine.
It's just really random because it becomes second nature.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But at
Yeah.
the time, you're like, and like policing's changed. Like I was in a white shirt and tie, and like, yeah, it was just a different time. 2006, like it's a long time ago. Now it's 20 years this year, and it's like, how's it
Yeah.
changed?
You also didn't have, or I'm guessing you didn't have, like, body cams.
No.
So there was no sort of footage for people to either really scrutinise, or people naturally get a phone out, don't they?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'm not talking about myself. I'm
No,
saying
no,
when you
yeah.
watch something, like someone gets arrested on the street, straight away there's like 5 phones out.
Yeah, you find that now, like still now. You see all these things on the news, and obviously in some ways it's great to have phone footage, but I still can't get over it. Can't get used to it when you see you turn up at a job and someone's in crisis, for instance.
Yeah.
And you look to your right and there's someone filming it. There's nothing to do
No.
with the situation.
No, it must be infuriating.
But Body Worn was like scary when it first came out because everyone was like, "Oh my god!" But it is brilliant because people can't argue with it. What's there?
Yeah.
So you view it as a positive rather than a negative
I
since
think
it's
you have
come
to,
out.
because
Yeah.
we have to be full. Like we have to. Well, yeah. What we're here to deal with what's in front of us, and if it's on film, you can't. That's the best thing for us, isn't it? Because people can't argue with it.
Yeah.
This is
Yes.
what you show them, and 'cause,
Yeah.
if you're trying to put it across through a statement in pen and paper, you really struggle sometimes to really put across.
I bet.
Yeah, it's like dash cam, isn't it? Like people say,
Can't lie.
More and
Doesn't
more
lie,
of
does
those
it?
coming out, isn't it? And I'm sure they're massively helpful for the police
Yeah, they
situations
are.
as well.
yeah, they are.
Before we get into like the harder stuff, then, what's been some of like the highlights of your police career? Like, what's some of the good stuff?
Oh God, I didn't know you could ask me that. I think like in Bristol, I was speaking to a mate recently, last couple of days ago actually. He was actually leaving, and we were like reminiscing on like the estate I worked in Bristol was a really good estate, but we were chasing after burglars on night shifts and robbers and like driving cars. It was good fun.
Yeah.
At the same time now, I'm like, well, actually, yeah, it was good fun, but looking back now, I'm like, God, people were victims of crime, and you're like, but you do need the buzz of like chasing after people, because if you ask any child, what do you think the police do? They chase after, and I still get it now when my younger kids go, have you caught any robbers today?
Get bad guys.
Have the respect, but,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, but yeah, like highlights, and I've had some good jobs with people. Weirdly about Bristol, I don't know if you know Bristol, the suspension bridge.
I do.
Goes over the Avon Gorge.
Yeah.
That was unfortunately, it's literally on the top 10 places to go and kill yourself.
Fair enough.
Is it? Jeez.
So we were very busy. And, I grabbed one woman back who was jumping, and like, on reflection, I was like, I was married with my firstborn at home, and like thinking I probably shouldn't have done that, but your adrenaline takes over. But
It's a brave thing to do.
yeah, and we used to have good results with like I said, in my early days, you catch a shoplifter, you used to love it.
Yeah.
But like now, it's different for me. Now it's more just like I get more buzz out of just how with what I've gone on to like trying to do, which is try and support the younger officers now. It's moved on for me from the driving cars fast and that sort of thing.
Fair enough. And just quickly then, do your kids look up to you? Do they want to join the police?
They haven't. They're really into that. Like my boys are into their sport. My daughter's into a sort of stage school and drama. But
Fair
I've
enough.
never really actively pushed them towards it. If I'm honest.
Fair enough.
Would you want it for them?
I wouldn't say yes or no. I think they got to find their own path. But I've seen the impact on me. But then policing and support policing is changing. But every year we move forward, it's getting better and better. So I think I look back on reflecting now my first sort of 10 years in Bristol, which were pretty unsupportive. But so I'm like, I don't want my kids to do that. But actually, I think the longer it goes on, the more support we have. And like I heard the fire boys talking about trim, we have trim, and like the support is getting better and better.
I can
that's
imagine.
positive.
Yeah, everybody's seems like they're moving in a positive direction with that sort of
Mental health becoming
stuff.
rightfully, it wasn't a thing when I joined. It wasn't obviously it was a thing, but we never really officer like welfare wasn't really a thing.
No.
Let's just get on with it.
So like if you've been somewhere like a tough one, like I don't know, road traffic collision, and there's been a fatality or whatever, it's a horrible situation to face. I guess adrenaline gets you through the situation.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, what sort of support do you guys get? Do you just talk to each other, or?
Yeah, so now anything which is deemed to be a particular level you get sort of tagged for trim, and then you get that referral.
Fine.
Do cops take it up? Not many, because they're all still quite young. And it's still trying to change that mentality of you need to get help for every single thing. We should be doing debriefs a lot more. But it's just through time. I think when I first joined, literally it was you go to a traumatic job, but it was just get on with it, next job, get on with the next job.
Yeah.
There was no thought process in my head of like, this is affecting me. It was just, and then, like I use that analogy of my rucksack. My rucksack was just it just got too full in the last couple of years, and that's what caused the change in mindset really. But yeah, the support is there, and it's becoming now they give you the support, whereas it used to be you had to go looking for the support.
Yeah.
It wasn't offered.
Fair enough. Because you're sergeant, right?
Yeah.
So you oversee how many officers?
So I'm now in Aberystwyth, sort of down in Aberystwyth, so I look after 4 PCs and 3 or 4 community officers.
Fine.
So, but they're not front line, so it's not as. But obviously they still go to things. It's different here because everyone goes to things.
Yeah.
In Bristol, it was like the response went to more the traumatic stuff and the traffic boys, but.
Yeah. And you're sort of pushing to, you can see it in them, say, look, you go and talk, you go and sort this out, go and speak to
I think
whoever
it's
you
just
need to speak to.
It's more like I see that when I was going to jobs, like I said, we used to work 6 days on, 4 days off in Bristol, and then on your rest days we'd always go out. And then you think, just social, you go out on the beers, but actually you were without, and like we always talk about work. Police are known for it. Like you go out, we just talk about job. Like, so without knowing, you're actually debriefing stuff you went to, and you're doing it in bite sizes. So we went out every week, a couple of ciders down, you would then open up when you. So you wouldn't go, like, this is what I found. If I said to some of the boys, do you want to go for a coffee and talk about your feelings and mental health? They'd be like, no. Whereas if you go for a couple of beers, back then, without knowing, you've debriefed that set of shift and you keep going.
Yeah.
But not so now it's like I can see in the younger guys who are so keen again and so willing that I don't want them to get to that stage I got to where I was like, overwhelmed by the trauma.
Yeah.
I want it to be, they can open up and talk and get that support. And the stigma, I don't want, the stigma needs to go with this. It was man up, like in Bristol. It was a case of get on with it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Is it still there even though the help is more widely available? is there still a little bit of a stigma, even though it's getting better?
I think
it's
generally,
available?
like in life, there's still that. Like, you don't hear the man up anymore. And if you do, very rarely. It's more of the older, sort of the more close to retirement age. But I think there's still massive stigma. Like since I've done my sort of trying to open up and show that you can talk about stuff, I've had people messaging me saying like, sort of surprised I was talking about it, but in a good way, because I think there is still that in all trades and in all places of work. Everyone, do you want to be talking about how you feel? I don't know. People probably look at you and think, you're a header or man up. Like I still feel it if you try and talk about the way like emotions. You still get some people like going, hang on.
I feel it's like maybe the older generation a lot of the time sometimes.
Yeah, because I think it's just probably seen as a weakness, wasn't it? Like
it was to them though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's it. That's what they've grown up with.
Yeah, we're trying
That's
to
what
change.
they understand.
I talked a lot to my wife and like my cousin who's down in Somerset. It's like we're trying to change. Like our generation has opportunity to change the way like things have been. But I have to remember like our parents' age group, their grandparents, and maybe like could have been coming out of the Victorian times and into the 1900s where there wasn't any discussions or openness. So we're still pretty early on in this. But my kids, we try and make it clear to them about they can talk about their feelings and stuff and open up. And there's no, I think in work and in general life, there's got to be this thing about there's no negative reaction to it.
Yeah.
You shouldn't, because I think in policing and probably the same with all first responders and probably the same in the military, I think people think if they open up, they're not going to get the job opportunities.
I was going to say that. I was going to talk about progression in work, and I think sometimes people are scared of it in case it stunts their progression in work.
Yeah.
Or like if they go off on sick for mental health reasons, would they be penalised in that way?
Yeah. Well, most things are probably like stress is the only option to go off with. And I wasn't stressed. And I wasn't stressed at all. I was just at full capacity. I couldn't do anything. I had to have a change. Like it wasn't, what was it called recently when because I go to counselling and he told me, I can't remember the term, like it's basically like a reset.
Yeah.
It's not a case of I am stressed, I can't do anything. It's a case I need to stop, pause, reset things in my life which have lost control and be able to then move forward. So I think stress was just a word which is used a lot when, I was never stressed in work.
So what would you say you were burnt out then? Or what was
I think burnout's like an umbrella term for it.
Yeah.
I think it's just, I was at a stage where, and I've looked into it and like I think it's a lot for first responders, is that it's a lot easier to be at a stage of trauma all the time. So the description I give is, you have a flat tire, you take your car to the garage, most people are like, that's going to cost me £100. I would be like, they're going to ring me and tell me it's going to cost £4,000. So I would rather be prepared for the bad news. So you end up spending every day at a state of negative, like I'm ready for the bad news. So
ready for the worst.
Because let's be honest, 99% of the stuff first responders go to is negative. Is someone's in? So there's going to be trauma there somewhere.
Yeah,
yeah.
And that's the same for people like sort of like the offenders and things. They're going through stuff. So it's like it's all just trauma. So in your early career, like, well, I'm going to be able to cope with this. Is just to prepared for the worst. So but in your personal life, you get prepared, and then you're just always that. So I was just knackered, like, thinking the worst was going to happen every day in every aspect of my life. So it's like I need to literally jump off this and literally just took a reset for a week. I had a week doing nothing, sat at home just doing different, like thinking about, and then I was like, okay, now I can start thinking about moving forward.
It's a really clever way of looking at it, isn't it? Because it is literally you're just stopping everything.
Yeah.
And your brain slows back down.
Yeah.
And you can actually think and have a bit more clarity.
Exactly. It's clarity. Like, I don't know if like I sort of describe it to people as like you feel like I was watching myself from the outside and going, you just like, but you can't stop. So it's a really weird place to be in. If ever like burnout is there, you can actually, like, it was like in my head shouting at myself to stop doing what I was doing, but you're just watching yourself continue. So yeah, that's the way I describe it really.
Do you remember your first counselling session and whether you seeked it out yourself or whether someone
randomly, it was like 4 years ago. I won't say why, but I ended up going to it for a police reason, and I thought I was just going for that one reason. But within the first hour, I was actually able to deal with that or process that, and then I started to talk about things I didn't even think were there. But it was quite weird because we just sat there and he didn't say a word and I didn't say a word. I know it's just a good tactic because they want you to talk for,
Yeah.
Oh, you've been really stubborn with you. You just
I was a bit
sitting there.
stubborn. I
Yeah.
don't know what I was expecting from like counselling. I sort of call it therapy now because I think counselling has a stigma as well. I think people look at counselling as like, oh God, he's going to counselling. But like for me, it was like I wasn't really sure what he was going to do, so I sort of sat there. He sat there, and then eventually I just started talking. I ended up talking about my granddad who had passed away years before, and I thought that was
Dealt with.
But the thing with that was the reason I hadn't dealt with my granddad was the fact that I was in work in Bristol the day and the phone. So the first time I heard about my granddad passing away was I saw it come in through the police system.
Oh, right.
So that's how I found out my granddad had died.
God, right, okay.
So that's another thing which doesn't really happen for normal people, is that you find out a loved one's passed away through a message coming through on your system.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How did you find that first session, or whatever you want to call it?
Strange, and I felt it's weird. When you first... I found... Now I'm used to it. When you first go, it opens up so many things. It takes you a couple of days to sort of process, and I was like, is this right for me? Is this a good thing? But a couple of sessions in, and I've been going now on and off for 4 years, I think, for different reasons.
That's a good thing.
It is, because you think about it, like...
It's not like a negative at all.
You know, if you break your leg, you get physio. And no one says anything, do they? You're like, oh yeah, you need physio. And like... But anything to do with mental health, I'm trying to... Yeah, for me, it was like, actually, yeah, you need to be checking on that and getting that physioed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
There's nothing wrong with doing it. Like, you need it in life for any reason. Like, I'm not saying anyone in any walk in life would probably benefit from speaking to someone, because the random thing is, you speak to a complete stranger, you open up.
Yeah.
There's no stigma there, is there? Zero.
They're not going to judge you, and they don't know you.
No.
There's zero judgment, which is great.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much, unless you tell them something which is a crime, it's all protected anyway.
Yes.
So it's quite a nice position to be in.
Yeah.
So your way of dealing with stress, anxiousness and all that sort of thing, you've turned to... Well, you've always been fit by the sound of it, playing football and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, well... I don't know about you boys, but when I was 16, it was all about bicep curls and chest press, t-shirt muscle.
It wasn't for me, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. That I probably went through a
surfing a lot of the
stage.
time, but yeah.
Yeah, me and Dave went through probably a stage of that when we lived in Swansea, and there was a bench press in the living room.
It was.
Nice.
So we did go through a little stage of
Couldn't
that.
put on weight, just couldn't do it.
I couldn't put on weight.
I was struggling.
I was 10 stone wet when I was in my 20s, and then suddenly I wasn't 10 stone wet. But I did, like you, I played football as a kid and rugby, and then got into gym, and then in COVID found CrossFit, because I could do it at home.
Yes.
And then High Rocks, and then...
Hybrid rock star.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Dave using the full terminology.
Yeah, I remember when I found that out, and I was like, oh, God.
I know.
Someone
I'm
who
telling people
worked
that.
said it to me, I was like, oh, this is even better, this is even worse. But, and then, yeah, running is just... I hated running. I still remember it being 18, going to the gym, this guy worked there said, you need to start running. I was like, I don't need to start running, this is ridiculous, I just need to do... As long as I've got, I look like I'm wearing a t-shirt, it's fine. And then, yeah, suddenly I was like, now I absolutely love it. And it's weird because people look at like, and that's what I think, like today I've done a 10K, but generally, obviously, when I first started this, it was just running anything, just getting out and running. And yeah, it's been really, really beneficial.
But you're doing 5K a day, weren't you?
Yeah, it's all happened about the same time, really. So I was sat at home in that first week off, and I was like, you do feel like you can't do anything because you're off work. I was like, I can't, if I sit here do nothing, I'm going to spiral. So I was like, I can still go and do fitness. So I started running, and then I still don't know why I've done it. I don't know what's going on with it, but I started this page on Instagram, and it's sort of, I started recording my runs, and then I saw that there was a run 5K a day for the whole of October for prostate cancer. And prostate cancer is really close to me for family reasons. So I was like, well, this will keep me accountable, because accountability is huge. I can't give up, because I've obviously got people giving me money. So yeah, it sort of started there, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do this on my own. So I started a WhatsApp group in work of like, who wants to come running? It's like a mental health running thing. We're not even really running. It's zone 2, so it's just jogging. Yeah. We can have a chat if you want to have a chat, or we can run 5K and have a coffee. And it sort of went from there, really.
It's good.
So I finished the whole October, then got really ill, because I think...
Oh, no way.
Gutted. We were in Mallorca, and I was like, I can finish my last day, and I got 3 days on the sun lounger, and I was just like, I think, got on a plane.
Mate, I was ill in Mallorca. First trip away after COVID with the family. I was ill in bed for 3 days in Mallorca.
I think it's
Definitely
like,
got COVID or something.
what I've realised, I think if you train every day, and I think 5k doesn't sound much, but it's every day. You sort of, your body's at a certain point, and as soon as you as soon as I stopped on that 31st in my last 5k, I had a couple of drinks, and then I think it hit me. So
Your immune system probably was down, wasn't it?
Immune, so
Yeah.
I sort of got over that and started running again. And obviously I still can't get winter on Aberystwyth. It's pretty tough.
Tough to run around here, mate.
So I've been running, but obviously all the guys are waiting for the spring to come to join me again, which is fine. But
Yeah,
Good.
There's something really social about running, isn't there? Because I've only started running relatively recently. I'll put it. I haven't been running for years, and obviously nowadays you see loads of running clubs popping up, don't you? And it seems to be sort of like, I don't know, like a newish thing. Like
It's
you never.
fashionable.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. It's good. It's good.
It
I've run
is
for a
good
long
because
time,
it's obviously it's really healthy and it's really good for
it's
your mental
great.
health. But I can't ever imagine it if I went back even 10 years. Someone would be like, "Oh, are you going to go to this social running club together?" And you're like, "What?"
Yeah, I would have. But I've run for a long time. I've always loved it. I've always loved the buzz of, well, it used to be the runner's high, they call it.
Yeah.
And the guilt-free eating and guilt-free Netflix.
Yeah.
Just sitting there just going, yeah, fine,
Yeah,
done my
I've done a
fitness
run, yeah.
or whatever it is. That's my thing with running and exercise. But like you, if I feel a bit, that's a reset for me.
Well, I found that when I started on my own, I realised that fatigue means you can't hold back emotion. So I found the more fatigued you are, the more you'd open up. And some of the guys would come running with me, and they would tell me before we ran, "I'm not here to talk. I'm not here to talk. I'm here to support you, and we'll just run." I was like, "No problem." And 2k in, they're talking because they can't stop themselves from talking. And I also found I ended up looking it up, and it's sort of it's been looked into that the best way of communicating and talking to someone is walking a dog, because you're basically you stand next to each other, you don't make eye contact, and you'll just walk and talk. So running is quite similar, that you never make an eye contact with someone you run.
Yeah.
It's like in a car, isn't it? A car's meant to be
always
good.
talk.
Eyes forward, and then you can just have an honest
Yeah. Whereas if you
conversation.
sit face to face with someone, you're not going to get
No.
anything from them. So
Yeah.
it was
Interesting about the fatigue though, because it makes me think of like jiu-jitsu. So me and Dave have done that a little bit, and that's a bit of like an ego smasher, I call it, where like your ego sort of breaks down a little bit and you're fatigued, and then maybe you look at yourself a little bit more honestly when you're fatigued.
Yeah, well, I think it's become fashionable as well, because I've seen some of the running groups, and like, it doesn't matter. You start and you finish at the same. Most of them start and finish on the prom, don't they? And it's like, it doesn't matter what time you start and what time you finish. It's just a case of you go there. It's a social thing, or you can go with your mate, or you can go on your own. It doesn't really matter. There's none of this like, when you go to races and
It's not a race.
Yeah.
It's more just getting out, getting running, and talking, and then you go for a coffee afterwards or a beer, and
Yeah,
Trainers. You were going to bring up trainers.
I was.
I feel like my wife's put you up to this because
I just like trainers anyway. So then when I started running, I think that was almost like a weird thing. I was like, oh, cool, another type of trainer I can buy, because I just like trainers.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, number one, what kind of trainers have you got, and have you got more than one pair? For running trainers, I'm on about now.
I've got multiple pairs of trainers, running trainers.
Multiple
Loads.
pairs. Have you?
Mate, honestly,
Daily tempo.
Come on.
so like I've got my current one's Adidas Evo, like the SLs. So
Yeah, I've got them. I think Dave has as well.
They're so
Is it the
comfy.
Adi Zero ones?
They're so comfy. But before I had the Nikes Fly 6s, which had a wedge. But any excuse to buy a new pair of running trainers, or High Rocks trainers, or CrossFit, anything over the years, I have spent a lot of money on trainers. But I love the fact of running. It does seem to. I say, well, it does actually make a difference. Like the Adidas ones do make you quicker, which I thought it's a pair of trainers, but
Oh, they definitely do.
Yeah,
They
no,
definitely
I think they do. The most recent ones I bought were for injury prevention, because I thought, well, it doesn't matter. I'm not a fast runner anyway, and it doesn't matter even if I shaved, say, I don't know, 20 seconds off any form of race. That doesn't matter to me. So I just got like injury prevention ones. So I've got like these Brooks, like mega comfortable Brooks, Max Glycerins, I think they're called. They're the best things ever. Because my knees don't hit.
Well, I've been using insoles. It does make me laugh. Like, I realised when I started running the prom in the summer, and I wasn't running with a group or anything, I was just running on my own with some friends. And I clocked that there's people running probably 50, 60, 78 years old. Mm-hmm. But the older they get, the more support they need on their legs, their shins, their arms, their elbows. I'm like, weirdly, for something which is an impact for sport or anything else, it does seem to be that the more you get into it, and the older you get, the more injuries.
Running's a
Road
nasty
running
one.
though, isn't it? It's not high impact in a way, isn't it?
Swimming's the one, mate. Swimming.
Yeah, well,
Do you like swimming?
no. I had every idea of last year it was all going to be about Ironman, doing a triathlon.
Yeah.
But swimming is not my forte. So I was like, I've put it off again this year. I'm doing more other things.
Which one were you going to do?
I was going to do this year I was going to do 70.3.
Yeah, Swansea.
And then I was going to do the Tenby one because I thought I'm just going to do it in Wales. But yeah, it's a case of, I think like obviously your bike set up here, I've got set up at home. I think the swimming is the only bit which I really have to go and train.
Yeah.
And I think it's still I'm using the excuse, I just don't think I've got the time.
Get in the pool first,
Get in the pool, you've got plenty of time.
get some open water swimming on the go afterwards.
Yeah.
We've got no open water near us, don't worry, I can't do that, I have to travel. Well, we've got the sea on the doorstep, is it?
No, exactly.
But no,
No.
my mate's trying to push me to do an ultra in the summer. There's a 100 miler from you finish in Cardigan on the coastal path and you start up north, Barmouth I think it is.
Oh, wow.
I think I heard someone else who's running that. Someone in work told me actually.
I'd like to do an ultra. I would like to do an ultra
Yeah.
one day. Not this year. I wouldn't mind maybe 2027,
Yeah.
something bigger. But
I've got it over my head, I'm 40 next year, so I'm like, I don't know why, I think I've got to do all this stuff before I hit 40.
midlife crisis, that is, Phil. That's what that is.
Yeah. The thing I like about the sounds of an ultra is I'd feel in my head, the only nice thing is like I'd feel like, oh yeah, I could run at a real slow pace.
Oh, yeah.
So you could just like chip away at it.
Well,
Literally
my
chip away at
mate
it.
and his friend in Aberystwyth. So I say my mate and his friend, they're both my mates, but my mate I met through and his friend.
Yeah.
They've done one this year in Scotland, and I rang him a couple of times throughout. They took 30 odd hours, so I rang him a couple of times.
Yeah.
And so then I looked on the internet. She said, "Oh, you can follow us." And I think a woman did it. She won it in 17 something hours, 7.17 hours 40 or something. So she must have ran the whole way, 100 miles.
I've heard that about a few women are really good at ultras,
Oh,
and a
yeah.
lot of the time, obviously within sports, predominantly men just come out on top. It's just the way it is. But it's a fair few ultra races I've seen
Endurance.
where women are beating the men in endurance races, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Strong
isn't it?
mentally, maybe.
Oh,
You don't know, do you?
I think that's the
Unbelievable.
thing for me mentally is where I'm still struggling with running. Is that with the wall? I think it's a real thing. You hit a wall, and it's all mental. And it sounds a bit fluffy, but today I was running, and it's going to sound. I'm full honesty now. So I started smiling when I was running,
Oh, yeah.
and it changes your mindset.
Yeah,
It's
that's
really weird.
what you felt better about
If
the
you
run?
smile
if
when you
smiling.
run, you
Yeah.
don't stop. And I think it's really weird. Something that makes you think you're enjoying yourself, and even if you're not at
Yeah.
that point.
I'll try and remember that when the hail's on my face. It's like 30 miles an hour
Yeah.
sideways. And
Well,
I'm
I
just
ran
like,
in the snow when it was here, and I was like,
That's
"It's
good.
cold."
yeah.
Like I said, it's weird. I'm never cold, so I was sweating in the snow running, but
It's like Rocky IV running in the snow.
That's lovely. That is a great film.
I love that montage.
Oh,
great.
That was great. Right.
straight in the garage on the punch bag.
Some light-hearted stuff I was going to ask you. What's one of the weirder calls that you've ever had, whether it be in Bristol or around here? Have you had any strange ones, strange call-outs?
Strange calls. We always get like the. Oh God, I'm trying to think now.
I was thinking you must have some.
There's some random
odd
ones where you get calls about what people think is burglars or noises, and it's complete opposite, or it's nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Neighbourhood watch.
Yeah, people love it. They love, which is great in some ways because we need them to call. But there's other people just nosy and know what's going on. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think the shoplifter once in Bristol who had like 200 cream eggs in his bag. He nicked 200
Nice.
cream eggs.
Not
I don't know
nice
what
that he's stealing the
I
cream.
don't know what's come to my head, but I was like,
Why'd you arrest him for that?
Holy,
random
he's probably
thing
flogging them in school.
what a random thing to nick. Just cream eggs.
Pound of cream egg. That's
Yeah.
£200.
Well, back then it was 30 odd p, I think. Like it is now.
Oh,
So it was yeah. And I had
Shrinkflation, inflation.
I had one guy in Bristol who he'd come out. He'd been in prison so long. He sort of when she was like, he'd come out and he'd gone and done he ran into House of Fraser and just nicked loads of jeans.
Yeah.
But he couldn't shift them because they were like the weirdest size, and we were going to like waist 44 but length 28 or something. So he couldn't shift them. And I just made me laugh. Like it's almost like
It's like a square pair of jeans.
Couldn't catch a break.
Oh, no.
But no, not. God, do you know what? It's weird. Like
The cream eggs one's good enough to be honest.
Just that's a cracker,
people
that
nick
is.
random things when they're desperate, but they think the
Yeah.
sell on some of this stuff. You think, how are you going to shift them? Like all these cream eggs.
Yeah, that is
Wrong size
bonkers.
jeans. The biggest gutter for us, we couldn't eat the cream eggs.
My old man was in the police for a little bit. He was in the Met. He was about 6 or 7 years, probably the 70s. I think about this last night. It must be the 70s. And two of his big stories. One of them was that he guarded one of the witnesses of the Craig murders.
Okay.
So he was outside the house after whatever, and they were apparently absolutely bricking it for obvious reasons. But another one, saw a massive UFO over Hampstead Heath, and like 2 or 3 people ran up to him because he's obviously in his uniform. I was like, "Did you see that?" He was like, "Yeah, it's like a big cigar thing floating in the sky." He was a policeman at the time. He's like, still swears by it now that he saw it.
That's random.
And he's like, "This is nothing to do with us, guys."
It's
been really random.
Yeah.
It's random.
Yeah.
But no, but they worked like on their own at the time as well, and they didn't have sort of walkie-talkies. They'd have to run to a police phone.
God, that is the 70s probably.
Oh yeah, completely on their own. Like, so if you're in trouble,
Yeah,
you're in trouble.
you're in trouble.
Yeah, but it's 2 at a time with you guys now, isn't it?
It should be in the like. There's different. It changes all the time, but there should be 2. You want 2 anyway.
Yeah.
Really.
It makes sense in my head. Not that I know anything about the police,
No,
but
you
it kind of
think,
makes
wouldn't
sense
you?
in my head. But
Obviously, think sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is. It's all dependent. But yeah, you should really have 2 in a car. But
do you think in the future maybe they would change that so you'd have to have 2 people?
I think that's the sort of mindset, and it should be. You know, there's safety in it. Like you know what you're going into, and nothing. Like I said, nothing is ever as it seems. Like I suppose, there was one job we went to. I keep talking about Bristol, but it's just easier to talk about Bristol. But we went to a call of literally just noise complaint in a block of flats, and you get there and you think, oh, it's just another noise complaint, and it was 2 blokes breaking in, and you end up having a fight with them. So that went from 0 to 100 in the space of 2 flights of stairs. So you've almost like you never get prepared. You never prepare yourself because everything can change a lot.
But that's why you're probably expecting the worst all the time, though.
Yeah, you do. You end up. It's easier.
Well, exactly.
It's a lot easier to be and people's tolerance is a lot different. It's weird. What some people just don't even bat an eyelid. Other people call the police about.
Yeah. Everyone's got a different threshold, I suppose.
Yeah, so you just go into everything.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, your like fight or flight is always not always in flight.
Or
fight. Sorry, it's always in fight or flight, isn't it? You just constantly
That's
there,
what
so
you
you
do,
can see why anxiousness or whatever, because you're just at that.
The difficulty
level.
I had is switching off.
Yeah, I bet.
It's difficult to, and we become institutionalised problem solvers. So I describe it as like, ironically, we're police officers, but we firefight because you go to a job, you deal with what's in front of you, you solve that problem if you can, and you leave. So then when you go home, you cannot switch off and solve problems, and realistically, you can't solve everyone's problems, or like your wife or your kids. Like, but I was in that. I got to solve your problem, whatever the problem is.
Yeah.
So, and you can't. And when I couldn't understand that, and I was getting more and more anxious and annoyed by it and pissed off, and then you're like knackered. So, I saw this thing once. It was an American cop, and they were having problems, and they basically, because obviously they go home with all their kit, and it's a completely different scenario, but he was told to go and lie in bed for half an hour before he engaged with his family, just to try and. So, like, I say, like, now I'm down in Aberystwyth and I get about 20 minutes to drive home and listen to podcasts. I listen to loads of podcasts. So it's a bit of just a case of switching off before you get through that door. So you're not taking, because people take their work home, but it's more just the mindset of like, right, I'm at home now. I'm at home with the kids. If one of my kids comes home from school and something's happened or anything, I can't solve that problem. He just wants to tell me about his problem, or my daughter wants to tell me about her day at school. I shouldn't be like, okay, well, you solve this, let's get this done. They don't want that from me. They just want me to listen to them. So that's where I think being a first, like, emergency services just gets to you in the end, where it's like it's a lot to do all the time. But yeah, it's still a great job and I love it, but you just need to have, like I said, that break every so often.
Yeah.
You might not have felt this initially, maybe you never felt it, I suppose, but did you ever end up feeling sorry for some of the people you arrested? So either maybe they're in a poverty trap, or maybe you've seen something at home and you're thinking, how on earth would they even stand a chance of like growing up through life and then not going into crime? Yeah,
definitely. I think being so young when I joined was an advantage, because a lot of the boys we were dealing with were my age. So I knew, like, it's a flip of the coin, isn't it, where you grow up.
Yeah.
So, and my grandparents lived on the estate, so I policed. So, like, my mum and dad, before I was born, we moved to a different part, but I was never like, I'm better than you. And we're seeing more and more now, like, I think nationally, I've seen people stealing food just to eat. They're not nicking bottles of vodka to sell down the pub. They're stealing sandwiches. So yeah, I've never ever like, you know, I've never. For me, it's a case of probably quite a lot of the time, really, especially the boys in Bristol, because a lot of them didn't have any opportunity, really.
No.
Like their parents were the same, and their grandparents were the same.
Yeah.
So they never had that. They had 3 generations of like people who didn't work and were just turned into crime.
Yeah.
So what choice have you got, really?
It's all they know.
It's so hard to break that cycle. Obviously, you do get some people, but it feels like it's just so few and far between the person that would break the cycle and, I don't know, maybe go to university or not go into a life of crime, where it just seems like against all the odds, doesn't it, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
What's I was trying to think what I was going to say then about the problem solving, and you can't really switch off. Is that one of the hardest things about sort of being a policeman and also having a family?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
I think when you're dealing with personal like trauma, or like one of your family members is passed away or was unwell, there's nothing you can do to solve that problem. But your head's telling you've got to solve that problem, because that's what you do every day. So yeah, that's where I think my biggest change. It's about being present for me. It's not. I used to go home and just think all the time about stuff going on, whereas you've got to make a big thing. And there's lots of techniques. It's like the breathing's a huge thing for me. Like if I find myself not coping, you take yourself away and breathe. And I really do believe in this Matthew Mahoney thing about this too shall pass. Like that mantra all the time. Like whatever situation you're in, it will get better. So it's just a case of like, yeah, I breathe and say this too shall pass, and then try and get on with things. But yeah, I think from your family and friends, they end up getting a bit annoyed by it. Like, because most of the time people just want to, I don't know if you find it from your partners, but they just want to tell you their problems. They don't want you to solve their problems. That's not your job you're just to listen. Whereas you go straight into, right, if I go and do this, or, you know, if I go and solve that, if I go and do that for you to solve your problem, I don't want you to solve, you're just here to listen to me.
Just want to be there.
There's a really good scene in White Men Can't Jump where she has a go at Billy Ho because all she wants to do is get him to listen, and he's just trying to solve her problems.
Yeah.
And she says, "You're not understanding me. I just want you to sympathise." It's a great scene, actually.
Empathy's a huge thing to struggle with in policing, and I imagine it's the same for fire and ambulance and probably the armed forces.
Is it because you get jaded?
I think it's. I've struggled to begin with of being like, so if one of my children, when they were younger, would fall over and cut their knee, I wouldn't be like going over and giving them a cut. I'd be like sort of saying, well, that's what happens when you do this.
Okay.
And I think it's because in work, like when you're like going, like, you know, if you get someone speeding down the road and they crash a car, you're like, well, that's what happens if you speed. Whereas you don't know what's going on with them. They could have been in a medical crisis. So, but your first thought is, well, you've just run like an idiot. So, I think you do get jaded, because you just get tired of. We go to a lot of the same things all the time. I think you do lose a bit of empathy for people, and then that transfers to home, really. So yeah, and it's a lot easier not to have empathy because you just put your barriers up and you switch off from it.
I can imagine it being frustrating at times, particularly if you're going to the same type of calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
And then, like with you're saying about being present, and it would just be so hard if you've been and you've seen these scenarios. It must be so difficult to sort of just switch off and be present, because your kids, like you're saying, they just want you, don't they? They just want to be around you. And your partner wants to be you.
Especially when my kids were younger. My oldest is 15 now, but when when you go. Open the front door at home and you get a baby past you or a toddler, and you're a dad. That's I'm a dad at that point. But you know, I could have been to a job where I've been to a motorcycle accident and the motorcyclist has died in front of me. Or given CPR to someone and they've died, or you know, you've gone to something, you know, in Bristol, like house fires and lots of more traumatic experiences. And then, but when you go home, you're a dad, so your job is to be a dad. And like, my wife's brilliant, and you know. And I think it's just a case of, but you sit there at night and your kids are talking to you, and I'd be like, I haven't got a clue what you just said to me.
Zoning out a little bit about the work.
Because you haven't finished, because you haven't dealt with or debriefed in your head what's happened that day.
You haven't processed it properly.
Anything there, have you?
No.
And that's what I think we're trying to change the culture of, is that you are allowed to say, look, I need to talk to someone now, or I need to talk to a supervisor or a mate, anyone. We'll go for a run. Or like do something after work which will give you that chance to at least, not, you're never going to, but the analogy I use is the filing cabinet in my head, where anything you've gone through, you're never going to forget, but if you can process it and put it in a drawer, you can then move on. So it's not like the gut wrenching or the feeling in your chest when you think about it. Instead, it's more like, okay, that's something I went through. But if you don't get on, if you don't process things, it builds up, and then it overflows.
Has there ever been a point, because you're talking about trauma, have you ever got to a point where you thought about leaving the police? At any stage of your career?
I think we all go through moments, and like recently, a lot of my mates in Bristol are leaving, which I never thought would happen. But I think when you're missing, you miss a lot. And job. Everyone does whatever job, they miss a lot. Like I used to get days off in the week, and I can watch the kids at sports day, and I knew mates who were builders who couldn't do that, or worked in offices who couldn't do that. But I think it's natural to have feelings of like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore.
Of course, yeah.
But then I've only ever done this. I haven't got any trade. I've got a couple of GCSEs, but I'm very much like, and I think there's quite a few of my generation in policing who haven't really done anything else. Like it's not like now where lots of guys and girls go to uni first or go and do another job and then join their late 20s. When I joined, we were like, you'll join straight after school, or you've been in the army, you come out of the army and join the police. But yeah, you do have moments you're like, why am I doing this? But I said it is a great job and I love it, but I've never done anything else. Honestly, if I won £1 million tomorrow, I'm going to open a coffee shop. That's my dream. Coffee shop, running club. I don't know what it is. I love coffee, and it's like the idea of just having a coffee shop.
Maybe that can be a retirement
There
dream.
we go.
You know?
You're in.
Doesn't have to be now.
The Lions Tour 2041's New Zealand. That's my retirement dream. That's what I'm going to do.
All right, here's a little question. If you were like the chief of police, what's one thing you would change in the police force?
I think there's so much going on with policing and in the public. Like, what do the public want compared to what we think we need to do? Ceredigon's a lovely place, and a lot of the people just want to see a police officer.
Yeah.
It's very old-fashioned here. Luckily, we're very good. We don't have the major crimes here. We don't have the burglaries and stuff. So people aren't living in fear. They just want to see someone.
A presence.
And I think the government are very good at giving us reasons. They want lots of things done in different ways, and I don't know. I'm pretty just common sense way, really. So I think, and really just more. There's not enough of us.
No.
There's definitely not enough of us nationally. Like, the numbers are dwindling. Money's, but the demand's still the same or going up. So it won't last. It's not sustainable. But yeah, but then that's probably when I'll be a chief constable.
No. Tough old job, that.
Yeah. If you were to speak to someone who was probably quite young and they were thinking about joining the police force, what would you think is some good advice to tell that person?
Go and do other stuff first.
Yeah.
Like, I think you do. Like, obviously, when I was 18, I was applying. I didn't want to hear that, but I think actually go and do some life experiences, because it does help you. And yeah, then go and join. And then, like, for me, obviously, I worked in Bristol, so I had a good 11 years in Bristol, and I've come here, so I've come the other way. And I try and say to some guys, go off to a bigger force, go off to a city force in England for a couple of years, and then come back if you want. Just go and experience other things. But
yeah,
I definitely say it's a job to join. Just go off and do. I don't think the days getting 18, 19-year-olds to join. I think they need, there's positives to it, but there's also, I think, go off and do a bit. Go travelling.
Just life experience.
Just go and have life experiences, because you get an idea then what's out there. Because you imagine if you're, I don't know, you're from Newcastle Emlyn, you join the police in Newcastle Emlyn, you never leave Newcastle Emlyn. Like,
yeah,
it's a great place, but are you going to experience things which you could, and can you relate to people who then come in? Because we have obviously a lot of our trade is tourism, isn't it? And people come in who come from other places, and if you've never left, so I say definitely go off and then come back at like 24, 25.
Yeah, that's probably some good advice, actually. And then you've got some really good transferable skills from what other jobs or occupations you've been doing up until that point.
There's loads of them. Like working on, if you're part of the boys at the building site, you'll get, you can talk to people, you're pretty resilient, you can work in all weathers, you're good with your hands. So there's already things you could transfer. Whereas if I found, like when I left school and joined the police, obviously different because there was no mobile phone, so you had to talk to people.
Yeah. What a lovely time.
Whereas now it's like, some people don't physically talk to anyone, do they? It's all through.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I thought about joining the police at one point, but do you know what's put me off? Night shifts. I couldn't
It's
do it.
definitely a massive impact on me. I've come off nights now, and I think doing so many years of nights, and interestingly, I wear a whoop, as a whoop, but it tracks your age, and since I come off nights, my age has come down considerably. And it came to me, so my mate in Bristol's got one, and we were talking in the summer, and he's like, he works in like banking and stuff, and he's like, he's got 2 very young kids compared to my older kids, so like, but his age was a lot younger than mine. I was like, how can that be the case? But yeah, working night shifts for a long period of time does take its toll.
Yeah, I can well imagine.
On call and nights. I read a study about it. Don't read studies about it. It's awful for you. It's awful
Takes
for
time.
you.
You know, it takes years off your life,
And it's awful for your, not only your mental health, but just bad for you in general. It's not good for you at all.
generally, the best description I give is always feeling like you come off, when you go to America and you come
Jet
back,
lag.
jet lag.
Yeah, I can
You're
well
on this
imagine.
days.
Yeah. I'm glad I don't do shift. I am on call with the hospital, but I am fortunate that I don't have to do a shift pattern because some people, the boilermen, they can start at 11 and they work until 7 a.m. So that's a shift. And I'm like,
What was your
"Oh,
night shift?
God."
7/7 or something, is it?
No, so we had it was 2 days, 2 days, 2 nights, and if it was a Sunday to Thursday, the nights were in Bristol they were 10 p.m. till 7 a.m. and then
10
the same
p.m.
here
yeah.
now. But if it was a weekend, they were 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Still,
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the evening shifts, if they were Friday, Saturday, they were 5 p.m. to 3 a.m. So, and obviously when you're younger, you're like, I can have a couple hours, and I've never been able to sleep off nights. 3 hours is probably the maximum, 3-4 hours. Some guys are great; they can sleep till 5-6 o'clock in the evening, but I'll be up by 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Just ready to go hard.
Curtains shut, sleep until 5 p.m. It's hard.
It's great when it's the winter and you're
Well, I can
driving home on a Monday morning and it's horrible and you're like, I'm going to sleep now. But yeah, anything when the sun's out, your body wants to be up.
Or your
About that,
kids are jumping on your head in the morning or something like that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we sort of go into some quick fires, Phil? Is there anything else you want to...
I think it's just like, I think I've had a bit of things recently where I've had lots of people message me since I've started the page, which is great. But I think it's just for me, like, I had no idea where this page was going to go and what it's going to be, but it's just a case of if I can change one person's idea of what mental health is and the stigma around it, and it's more a case of it's okay to open up to people, it's okay to talk about your emotions and to generally just talk more often. Don't let things build up to a point where you then have, however you want to describe it, a breakdown or what, it's just, I'm just trying to change that perception really of how it is.
It's good. Doing an amazing thing.
Really good.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you got a favourite film?
I do, I think.
Hit us. What have we got?
Any of your top 5?
Departed's one of my top films.
Oh, yeah, good choice.
I've seen that for a while.
But growing up, it was Great Escape.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't seen that since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Hang on.
On the
Escape.
motorbike.
The Great Escape.
There's like a classic scene on the bike. Yeah.
Hang on, Departed is...
Departed is
Leo.
like
Leo.
Well, actually, it's an amazing cast, isn't it? I think Jack Nicholson might be in it as well. It's like,
John watched the other night, Heat.
what a great cast.
We've seen that recently.
Not recently, I saw it years ago. I used to be into the films, and Heat's a great film.
Oh, it's like,
But, like,
blew my socks off.
Yeah, like all the sort of mafia films and stuff like that. But I'm waiting to get my, because I'm a big Lord of the Rings. I like Lord of the Rings.
Are you?
I've watched them recently, the extended buggers, 4 hours.
Yeah. I once did it one day. I did it on a rest day on like a Wednesday when you're like 21, just sit and watch 3 films back to back.
Did you do it?
They are great films, actually.
I've not met anyone who's done that before. I've always wanted to do it.
Yeah,
That's brilliant.
It's pretty sad, really.
Not
but
at all.
It's great when you're in it. Like,
That's
but
a
then
journey.
I think I could get away with it now, obviously, with responsibilities. But when you've got nothing going on, it's a weekday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And all your mates are either at uni or working.
Perfect.
And watch 3 things.
That's
Lovely.
awesome.
Could you day? Music. You got a favourite artist, favourite band?
So I'm like my country music.
Oh, do you?
Modern country or
like
modern...
Johnny Cash is my sort
Right.
of. I love Johnny Cash, but like now it's like Chris Stapleton.
Yes, like some of the Morgan Wallen, is it? I
people
like
like
some
that.
of the I like some of the modern stuff,
Yeah.
like Chicken Fry. I really like. I can't even remember the name of the guy who sings it, but I love that.
Yeah.
You were in Cattle Strength Gin the other day. Was he smashing out the country?
No, he wasn't there. He was at the rugby.
Was he?
So there was a woman there who had it was like R&B.
Oh, no.
But like my daughter's 11, going on 12, and my son's 15, and my younger son's 9. But like I don't understand a lot of the music now, and like I feel very old suddenly. But they have to listen to my country music. quite a lot.
Radio 2, definitely not Radio
I
2.
know you're into your fitness and everything, but have you got like a takeaway vice? Do you have like what's your go-to takeaway?
Well, if it's fusion, when I was on shift, the guys didn't have the team didn't have to ask me what it wants because it was chicken pad thai. No, sorry, pork belly pad thai with Mongolian chicken.
Mongolian chicken is a
You
belter.
look at the Mongolian chicken, that's all I do.
It's like crack.
It was Indian chicken tikka masala, pilau rice, garlic naan, 2 papadoms. I can say how fast it's like.
It's almost like Smithy's order.
But we I don't share.
No.
Especially early on in my career, you just had to eat takeaways. There's no point saying I'm a nightmare for it, but there's no point taking food to work. You just would end up having takeaways and you ran your shift.
That Tupperware just like thrown around
Take away your sandwich.
in the bottom of the car or something. Favourite cereal?
Obviously, I just have granola every day.
Yeah, porridge.
Come on with the good
chocolate
ones.
shreddies.
Oh wow, chocolate shreddies, nice. Yeah,
I've not had those actually.
Chocolate shreddies,
Sounds right up your street. Those do.
pretty good. That sort of nice sugary cereal.
Yeah, really bad for you, but I know.
Yeah, lovely.
They are great.
Oh, they're amazing. Yeah.
Cool. I think we're I think we're done. Happy?
Good. Yeah, really
happy with that, Phil?
Thanks very much for coming on and
Okay.
giving us your time.
Thank you. Good man.
No worries.
Cool.